friends, welcome back to my channel. It is me, Alana. For this video, I am going to be talking about the books that I am going to be reading in February. For the month of February, I might have eaten off more than I can chew when it came to planning my TBR. But I just had so many books that I was excited to read, / I felt like I needed to read. The first book I have on my list is Betrayed by PC and Kristen Cast. This is the second book in the House of Night series that I am working on reading this year. I read the first one in January, so my plan is to read the second one in February, and then so on and so forth. There's 12 books, so I should be able to read a book a month and hopefully be done by the end of the year with this series. But in case you don't know, this series follows a girl named Zoe Redbird who lives in a world where vampires exist, and instead of being bitten, the only way you can turn into a vampire is if your body kind of basically like comes down with this virus and you develop this mark on your forehead, and it's like an outline basically of a crescent moon. And when you are first marked, your body gets sick, and it just continues to get sicker until you are able to get to one of the vampire schools where they teach you how to be a fledgling. Once you get to these schools, you start your fledgling year, where you take all the classes and they sort of teach you what it means to be a vampire. But the twist is that within this fledgling year, your body has to also be able to accept what's happening. And so if your body doesn't, you'll die. So when we start the story, Zoe is marked, and she has to basically transfer to the vampire school within her town. But the problem is, she is the only fledgling that comes with her mark filled in. So she's automatically labeled as different. And with this, she starts to realize that her story may be more important, and this path that she's on may have been set, and she may actually be more important to this world than she realizes. I am really looking forward to reading this. The next book I have on my list is Gold by Raymond Kennedy. This is the 5th book to the Plated Prisoner series. I have read 1 through 4. I had been waiting for the audio for Gold to come out because I tried reading it as an ebook and I just was really struggling, so I needed to be audio version for this. So I plan to read it this month, and then the audio for Goldfinch comes out in March, so I'm hoping to time it to where I'll be able to read and finish Gold in this month, and then read and finish Goldfinch next month, and then I will be officially done with the series. This series, in case you don't know, is a King Midas retelling, and it follows Oren, who is King Midas's gold-touched favored, and her story with King Midas and beyond, essentially. When you read the first book, she is his caged treasure, and as you go through that book with her, she starts to realize that maybe Midas isn't this savior like she thought, and maybe he is actually more selfish and more abusive than she has realized. The next book I have on my list is Tale of the Heart Queen by Nisha J. Tooley. This is the 4th book in the Sun Queen trials. I am nervous as hell because the way that the 3rd book ended, I feel like all hell is about to break loose. First, the quote, "Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned," I feel like is very much going to be the theme of this book. And it says right here, the time for revenge has come. Like, I feel like our main girl, Lore, is about to basically take no prisoners, and she's about to start fighting back detrimentally. Like, I just have that feeling, and I'm ready for it. Just the way the 3rd book ends, like, I can just see it. She's about to just be like, you know what, I was playing nice these first 3 books. I'm about to just take everybody out. But the series is about Lore, who has been imprisoned by the Aurora King. And she doesn't really know why, and you don't know why as a reader as well. And then she is taken out of the prison by the Sun King and forced to take part in his Sun Queen trials, which is basically a whole Hunger Games style competition to be the next queen of the Sun Kingdom. And she doesn't know why he took her out of this prison. She doesn't know why he wants her to be a part of this trial at all. But she sees this as a sign to get her freedom back, and so she like dives in and basically starts competing. While she's doing that, you're also getting the perspective of the Aurora King's son, and he's trying to figure out why Lore is so important to his father and why she's also important to the Sun King. Like, he's trying to figure out who she is and why she's so relevant to both of these kings. I loved this, especially because as you get further into the story, especially the first book, you start to realize that Lore may know more than she's even telling you. The next book I have on my list is Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. It's about a girl who is from what it sounds like, she's kind of an overachiever, and she is a horse rider, and she has basically gotten herself out of her hometown to do what she wants. She do what she loves, and unfortunately an accident happens, and so she has to go back home. And there she runs into her brother's best friend, who's also like the town bad boy or whatever, and I guess they form a relationship romance type thing. I've heard really good things about these books, and I really want to check them out. I also really love these covers. They're so cute. I do usually enjoy a good like cowboy country romance, so I am very excited to see if this could be a new fave. Next, I decided I wanted to pick up a nonfiction this month, and I've decided, like, with the way the world is going and the way that our country is going at the moment, I just want to make sure that I am fully educated in everything. And so I've decided that I am going to basically like make sure I'm researching everything that's happening, make sure I'm researching and gathering the information that helps me understand everything, but then also I want to dive into nonfiction that is going to help me understand myself and like self-improvement, and then also just the nuances of the world, I guess. I don't know how best to describe that, but the next book I want to read is The New Jim Crow by Michelle Alexander. I feel like this is the best time, if any, to read it, and I have had this on my list to read for a while, so I've decided that this is my chance. And this is the time to do it. So we're gonna add this. I'm excited to read it and annotate it and kind of learn a lot, hopefully. Next, I also have The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. I loved The Wishing Game. It was one of my best books of last year, so I'm excited to read this and see if I could enjoy it just as much. This follows two boys who went missing in the woods one year, or for a few years, and they came back and they don't remember anything. But one of them is called upon by a woman to help her find her sister who disappeared in a similar way. And that's kind of all I know, but that's kind of all I want to know. And I'm just really excited to see what this is, how this is going to be written, how she did it, and to see if I enjoy it. Alright, and then the last book I have on my list for this month, which these are a lot of books, and this is like, I don't know if I'm going to get to it this month, but I'm really hoping to, but if not, that's okay. Like, I can push it off to March if I want to. But the last book I have is Watermoon by Samantha Soto Yambao. I was kind of obsessed with this book, partially because I really love this cover. I love the color. Look at the naked book real quick. Like, look at this naked cover. I just love it. I'm really a big, like, this shade of purple and blue are some of my favorite shades, and yeah, I just love it. But also, the story follows a woman who owns a pawn shop that people can drop off their, like, I guess, regrets and life choices in. and something gets stolen and she has to go on an adventure with this man to get it back. So it just sounds really intriguing and I'm here for it because I've never heard like a synopsis like this before. Alright, so that is my February TBR. Hopefully you all enjoyed watching this. Please let me know what you are planning to read in February. I know this is probably going to go up late, but that's okay. And if you like the video, please like it down below. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave all that in the comment section. If you are not good at commenting, I'm going to go ahead and say leave me an emoji. And if you want to see more videos from me, please hit the subscribe button. You are awesome flowers and a world full of weeds.